The Dr. Ray Podcast is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio. Here's today's monologue with Dr. Ray Guarendi.
Most recent update, re-release of a book I did many, many years ago. It's called Simple Steps to a Stronger Marriage. The premise of the book is pretty straightforward. Do the small things. The small things will result in big things, major improvements. You wouldn't think something so elementary could have that kind of cascade effect, but they do. Even if all they do is replace bad habits. I'll give an example of a cascade effect. Say a parent comes in and they are totally frustrated with his 6-year-old. Everything is negotiation. Everything has the potential for defiance. Everything is a fight. They thought they were going to be such good parents, and they don't like any of the feelings they have toward this child. 92% of the sins they confess have to do with some kind of interaction with this child. They're just so frustrated, and they're so self-doubting, and they think they got this seed of a child that just flat out can't be socialized. Fortunately, most of the time that is not at all true. Let's just say I asked them, if you told him, go to the corner please, for some infraction, would he? And they say, no, of course not. Of course not. He'd fight it. He'd struggle. He'd do everything he can to resist. He'd melt down, be ugly, be horrible. So if I tell them, here's what I want you to do. If he refuses, you simply don't say a second time. And you don't need to drag him there. He's getting bigger and stronger, and you're getting littler and weaker. You simply shut down all privileges. Everything. Every single privilege. And you don't realize how many privileges you allow. We're talking all kinds of stuff. If the parent does this, I would say 50% of the time, they come back 2 weeks later. They say things like this. I don't believe this. I just told him what I was going to do, and I haven't had the problem. He goes to the corner. It's not a problem. So you might think, okay, now you took a big chunk out of the discipline problem. All right, let's work on the other stuff. Let's work on the frustration in the relationship. Let's work on the affection with the kid. Let's work on peace in the family. Let's work on all this other stuff that is surrounding the behavior problem. Lo and behold, the parents will say, he seems so much more pleasant, so much more settled. He's hugging me a lot more than he used to. There for a while, he wasn't hugging me at all. Now I'm getting hugs all the time. He tells me he loves me. Came up to me the other day and said, Mommy, can I help you with something? He never did anything like that before. Now, the parent didn't directly deal with those other frustrations. What happened? The Cascade Effect happened. They took charge. They did one small thing. When I put a consequence on you for your behavior, you had better accept it, or here's what's going to happen. And the child believed him. As a result, he settled. He settled dramatically. The fight stopped. The everyday bargaining, negotiation, threats, frustration, gone to confession every other day, decreased. So, what happened? A small step made a major change. And it rippled through the whole relationship with the child. Not just the discipline aspect, but the whole relationship. more affection, more peace, more kindness. He's even treating his sister nicer. How did all that happen? Because they made a very significant, effective, tiny move. In a marriage, there are significant, tiny moves everybody's capable of making. They either neglect them or resist them, but they would have a dramatic effect. The Cascade Effect. Simple Steps to a Stronger Marriage. My newest book. I'm Dr. Ray.
More of Dr. Ray's monologues can be found on his website, drray.com. Monologues as well as full-length programs of The Doctor Is In can be heard at AveMariaRadio.net and EWTN.com/radio.